Karla Schafer, Auntie's Beads designer, and I'll be designing earrings with feathers. I'm going to go over the list of tools and supplies needed for this project. You'll need a pair of chain nose pliers, round nose pliers, and a nipper tool. You will also need 12 inches of chain, a pair of ear wires, 4 crimp ends for beading chain, and 2 jump rings, and of course feathers. And in this case I'm going to be using the guinea feathers. What we're going to be working with is 6 inches of the chain, and if this is too long, obviously you can cut the chain down. What I'm going to do is we're going to use half of the chain and have an off level or uneven pair of feathers hanging off each end of the chain. So cut your chain 6 inches. And the first thing we should really do is go ahead and prepare the feathers. And as you can see, the feathers go all the way up to the top of the quill, and what we simply want to do is just pick some of the feathers off the quill to kind of clean it up, and then we're going to cut the end off because that end tends to be broken. So just, and what you should do is just kind of take your bag of feathers and cull them and decide which ones are about the same size for your pair. Now just trim the end. Then I'm going to use the little beading chain end, slip it onto the end of the feather quill until I can feel it hit the top. Now I'm going to go ahead and use my chain nose pliers and flatten the whole crimp end so I get all of the shaft of that feather in there. So you don't want it to come off. I'm going to give it a gentle tug. Got that one done. I'm going to prepare the other one, and I've chose a feather that was just slightly smaller than the one. As I said, our earrings are going to be a little uneven. And again, I'm going to clean it. Just snip the end off. You can feel it. It's where it's broken on the end. Take another with the crimp ends. Slip it on the end. Okay, now I've got my feathers crimped. Then what I want to do with the 6 inches of chain that I have is I'm going to measure out 2 inches of this little chain. This chain is got little links to it, so there's a little jump ring. So here's about my 2-inch mark. So I'm going to take that little tiny jump ring where the links are. Like I said, this will work with cable chain or any other kind of link chain. I'm going to take that little jump ring and pull it up until we have an uneven here, and I'm going to take my earring finding. Probably should have opened that first. Then I'm going to slip this ear wire through that jump ring and down, and then close the ear wire. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up my jump ring. Alright, now I've got the right opening. Open them, and then slip it on the end of the chain. Slip it into that link. And then slip on the feather. I'm going to go ahead and put the smaller one on, and then I'm going to close this jump ring. I put the smaller one on the longer link. And I'm going to do the same with the shorter. As I said, if these are too long, but with the feathers they tend to wear them long. If they're too long, then you can just shorten your chain. You don't have to use all 6 inches, or you can make it even. This is just a simple pair. As simple as feather earrings can be, I suppose. There we go. And then we've got a really fabulous pair of feather earrings. And I will show you some other options. You can use some other crimp ends. The 3mm leather crimp ends work really well when you're using multiple feathers, or some of the feathers even within your bag will have a larger quill on them, and they may not work with that little So you can do this, and you can lay them up against findings and drop charms off a chain. I've also done them with the silver, with the multicolored feathers, and I've got 3 or 4 feathers in this one. And again, and then you can add charms and head pins and what have you to them. And then I also did something really just kind of short. Again, I put a bead on the shaft of the feather, of the quill of the feather, and then the crimp end. So there's lots of other options to use other crimp ends to do your feathers with. But those are just some of the ways to connect the feathers to make an earring.